It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Right now on the 10 o'clock news.
Congressman George Santos taking another step forward on Capitol Hill despite the ongoing investigations and calls for him to resign, which House committees he's just been named to.
Plus, an NYPD officer shot on duty is back home with his family tonight. The ongoing search for 2 more suspects.
But first, a New Jersey community mourning the loss of a little girl and her mother who tried to save her from a house fire, how they're being remembered tonight. Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Steve Lacey.
And I'm Natasha Verma. Neighbors in Hazlet, New Jersey coming together to remember Jackie Montanaro and her 6-year-old daughter, Madeline.
Yeah, the 2 were killed over the weekend in a house fire. Sharon Crowley was at tonight's vigil as the community mourns this tremendous loss.
The community of Hazlet, New Jersey coming together for a mother and daughter who died when their home caught on fire.
But to me, above all, she was my best friend.
40-year-old Jacqueline Montanaro, who worked as a Customs and Border Protection officer at Newark Airport, got out of the house safely, but died when she ran back inside, trying to rescue her 6-year-old daughter, Madeline.
When we both got out of the house and realized that our daughter had not made it out, I turned around and tried to go back in, and the flames and the smoke was just so intense. And obviously, I'm a father. My job is to protect my children. I got outside, I said, that's it. You gotta wait. We gotta wait for the professionals to get in because there's no way in hell we're getting in this house. And she just looked at me and didn't want to hear it and just bolted back in that house. That was my wife. She was the bravest person I ever knew.
Jacqueline's husband, William Montanaro, survived the fire, as did his 8-year-old daughter, Elena. But the house is a total loss. The exact cause of the fire is still under investigation, but authorities don't believe it's suspicious. A GoFundMe page has been set up, and the nonprofit, the Rain Foundation, is raising money for the family. Funeral services are planned for later this week. How sweet the sound. Law enforcement circled the family at the vigil, as did many young families who knew Jackie and Maddie, as they were called, from school and other activities. William Montanaro says his wife is a hero. He wore her hat with pride.
The moment that my daughter passed away, my wife was standing in heaven with her arms wide open and said, "Come to Mama."
In Hazlet, New Jersey, Sharon Crowley, Fox 5 News.
Just heartbreaking news there. And breaking tonight, we're also following a shooting in Far Rockaway. You can see police along Central Avenue in this Citizen App video. Police tell us 3 women were shot, 2 in the leg, 1 in the foot. It's not clear why the shooting happened and where the shooter is tonight.
New video shown in the trial of accused terrorist Sayfullo Saipov showing the chaotic scene after the truck he's accused of plowing into a bike lane off the West Side Highway in 2017. Now, in these videos submitted as evidence, prosecutors say that Saipov is seen hopping out of the rented Home Depot truck after the crash that left 8 dead and 12 others injured. They say he waved 2 fake guns, even pointing one at an officer on the scene. That officer opened fire on Saipov, shooting him in the torso before he was ultimately subdued. Saipov faces 28 counts for the horrific attack and could face the death penalty. Police say a 16-year-old boy was stabbed in Brooklyn this afternoon. Sky Fox was over the scene. Police say the incident happened on 6th Avenue and Sunset Park at 4 o'clock. The 16-year-old was stabbed in the back and was brought to Lutheran Hospital. He is expected to be okay. Police are now looking for 5 people wanted in connection to his stabbing. Also in Brooklyn, a 40-year-old man was shot and killed in Canarsie. It happened around 3 o'clock this afternoon on East 83rd Street. Police say he was shot in the torso and died a short time later. So far, no arrests. An NYPD officer is out of the hospital today and back with his family after he was shot in the arm while patrolling the Bronx. That's right, and a teenager is under arrest tonight, but police are still looking for 2 more suspects. Lisa Evers has the latest on the search.
Dozens of officers gathered in a show of support for NYPD Officer Lee from the 48th Precinct, who continued to chase down his shooter even while wounded.
He's a hero. He's got 3 years on the job. He's been roughly a month now. He's been part of our public safety unit. They're tasked with handling violent crimes, getting guns off the street and such, and he was doing exactly, him and his partner, they did exactly They did their jobs to the fullest tonight.
Just after 3 Tuesday morning, the officer and his partner, both in uniform, were in an unmarked car when a 16-year-old armed with a .32 caliber handgun allegedly fired through the windshield, striking Officer Lee in the arm. He and his partner placed the teen under arrest before going to the hospital.
Well, here it is again. A child has no fear of the police or the consequences for pulling the trigger on a police officer.
Police say there were more shots fired by 2 other suspects, one with a .380 semi-automatic handgun. More than 12 hours after the incidents, many blocks in both directions around 183rd Street and Prospect Avenue were still being processed in the sprawling crime scene.
That area is where we want our police officers to be. It's a known gang location that had problems in the past.
For residents, it's yet another reminder of the everyday dangers they face.
I'm just scared, that's all. I don't know, there's no safety. That's horrible. They need to do something about this area. It's rough.
Police say the public should have no doubt that officers are willing to go into the toughest crime areas and put their lives on the line in order to give residents there a chance at peace and safety in their homes. In the Bronx, I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News.
Police say a man attacked an on-duty MTA conductor in Herald Square this morning. Officials say as a northbound Q train left the 34th Street station at around 6 a.m., an unidentified man hit the female conductor in the hand with a stick. She was taken to the hospital and is expected to recover. The search, though, for the suspect continues.
And police are looking for the suspect who assaulted and robbed an 80-year-old man inside a Brooklyn subway station last Sunday night at about 7:30. This man went into the Euclid Avenue station in East New York. Just outside the turnstile, he allegedly sprayed something into the elderly man's face, put him in a chokehold, and punched him before stealing his wallet and running away. The victim was not badly hurt. If you can help recognize this suspect, you're being asked to call police.
Donald Trump's former personal attorney confirming a meeting with the Manhattan DA's office. Michael Cohen meeting today. The DA's office has been investigating the former president and his company since 2018 when Cohen pleaded guilty to facilitating $130,000 in hush money through the Trump organization. It was paid to adult film actress Stormy Daniels in order to keep her quiet about an alleged affair with Trump before the 2016 election. Trump continues to deny that affair.
New York Congressman George Santos has officially been seated on 2 House committees.
That's right. Now, all this happening despite multiple investigations into his finances and calls for him to resign over the lies he told about his background.
Ashley Rodriguez is joining us now with the latest in this Santos saga. Ashley?
Look, the Republicans have a very narrow majority in the House. Santos is a vote in their favor, regardless of how much he lied on his resume. But while he votes on these committees, he will not be able to do anything for the residents of District 3.
My message to Mr. Santos is simple. This will not end well for you.
Calls for Long Island Rep. George Santos to resign ring louder each day. But reports Tuesday the congressman, found to be lying about most everything, would be appointed to committees in the House, infuriated fellow colleagues and constituents. South Bronx Rep. Richie Torres writing on Twitter, outrageous. George Santos is going to be appointed to the Small Business Committee, which oversees one of the largest government programs in history, the Paycheck Protection Program. Can a fraud like George Santos be trusted to root out rampant fraud in the PPP? Multiple outlets reporting Santos would also be appointed to the Committee on Science, Space, and Technology, which oversees agency budgets totaling over $42 billion.
Every time the Republicans put faith in George Santos, every time they treat him as if he were just another member of Congress, the Republicans basically become complicit with somebody who acceded to office on false pretenses.
Analysts believe House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is protecting his narrow majority, choosing to keep Santos in place as the international, federal, state, and local investigations play out.
It's very unlikely that he will ever get the support to get a co-signature on a piece of legislation. It's very unlikely that people will work in common cause with him, perhaps for the benefit of his constituents on Long Island. So right now, his only leverage, his only value to the body is as a vote.
And keep in mind, the House could vote to remove him right now, but replacing him would mean a special election that a Democrat could win, a risk Speaker Kevin McCarthy might not want to take. Steve?
Very well. All right. Thanks, Ashley. Well, the White House says it's being appropriate in its response to the classified documents found at President Biden's properties. The administration says it's not giving out too much public information because they want to protect the Justice Department's ongoing investigation. So far, Biden's attorneys have found classified documents on 4 separate occasions. Today, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre refused to say if Biden's attorneys are still looking for more documents.
We have been very clear that we are not going to comment. We are not going to politically interfere, and that continues with this legal issue. And so I would refer you to the Department of Justice, refer you to the special counsel as it relates to specifics on this issue.
Last week, Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed a special counsel to investigate.
The government is getting closer to hitting its legal borrowing limit. The Treasury Department says the U.S. will likely hit that limit on Thursday and plans to launch drastic measures to avoid a default at least until June. That should give Congress enough time to raise the limit, but the new Republican-led House has signaled that it will only consider raising the debt ceiling in exchange for spending cuts.
Well, 1 year in, and mobile betting has skyrocketed in popularity in New York State. Just how much money New Yorkers have anteed up and where all that money is going.
Plus, whether you're a foodie or a theater fanatic, there's something for everyone in the city this week. How you can take advantage on some amazing deals.
The news on Fox 5, brought to you by MSC Cruises.
We could fly to such great heights.
Book now and enjoy up to 40% off, free drinks, and more. MSC Cruises, a world of discovery.
Something's happening. We're going on a journey.
Out there, you can be anything you want to be.
It's Can-Can. Over 50 years of endless deals. ShopRite's Can-Can sale. You can't miss it.
The Neil Diamond musical, A Beautiful Noise, is now on Broadway. With all his hit songs, including America, Cracklin' Rosie, and Sweet Caroline. It's so good, so good, so good. The Neil Diamond musical, A Beautiful Noise. Get your tickets today.
1, 2, ding 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 tiki 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 ow ding 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 ding. Saka saka.
No matter what type of morning person you are, start your mornings with Good Day New York for what's new, what's happening, what's important.
We're following some breaking news this morning.
So no matter how you begin your day, start it with Good Day New York, weekday mornings on Fox 5.
The New York Giants getting ready for their NFC division playoff game against the Philadelphia Eagles on Saturday. Big Blue coming off their big wild-card win against the Minnesota Vikings last Sunday. And while the victory puts them only 2 wins away from the Super Bowl, Giants players are not overlooking the Eagles, who swept both games against them during the regular season.
We're just focused on this week. We're focused on, everything we have to do to prepare to play our best on Saturday. And, we can't really afford to look beyond that. We've got a big test, and Philadelphia's a good team, obviously.
Fox 5 has you covered for Saturday's big win and game, hopefully a win, between the Giants and Eagles. Tina Cervasio will have live reports from Philly starting at 6:30 on a special pregame edition of the 6 o'clock news. Then it's the NFL on Fox pregame show at 7:30, followed by the Giants and Eagles at 8 o'clock. Of course, we will have all the highlights and postgame reaction in the 10 o'clock news.
Well, a lot of fans not just looking forward to watching Saturday's game, but now betting on it as well.
It's been just over a year since mobile betting was legalized here in the state, and its popularity has skyrocketed past what anyone thought was possible. Teresa Priolo is taking a look at what is fueling the market.
To see us do these record numbers that first month, right out of the gate in January last year, we do like $2 billion in handle that first month.
Record-breaking and surpassing even the most confident of expectations. Mobile sports betting has proven to be big, bankable business here in New York.
Early projections were $500 million for the year. We're at $900 million after that first year.
New York vaulted past the $15 billion mark in wagers in early December. Through the end of 2022, the state collected $709 million in taxes and $200 million in licensing fees.
These numbers are staggering.
Mike Mazzio is a reporter with the Legal Sports Bet.
That money went elsewhere, went out of the state, right? It went to the offshore sports books or it went to Jersey.
But now it's staying in New York. 98% of it, or roughly $880 million, will fund education.
And that's not including what we also gave to youth sports, which is about $5 million extra. And then the one part I really like is the $6 million extra for addiction programs.
There had been deep concern legalizing mobile betting would make it easier for those addicted to exercise their vice.
New Yorkers, they were going to Jersey or doing it illegally or going to Pennsylvania. We couldn't help them because we didn't know who they were. Once you regulate it in New York, now we can monitor accounts. We can see someone who's on their way to getting an addiction.
It's a safe bet that online gambling will only continue in New York State and might expand during this budget cycle. To those who like the additional cash flow but have concerns about the hobby itself, Adabo says,
either the increase of educational funds, the jobs, the revenue for the state, the fact that we're helping individuals who have an addiction, somehow, some way, you're going to benefit even if you never place a bet.
Teresa Priolo, Fox 5 News.
A former Rutgers football player named New Jersey's Sportscaster of the Year, Eric LeGrand, just finished his 12th season with the Rutgers radio team. When LeGrand played for Rutgers in 2010, he suffered a spinal injury during a game which paralyzed him from the neck down, but he persevered. LeGrand finished his degree, started a foundation, and found a home behind the mic. The National Sports Media Association will officially honor LeGrand this June in North Carolina.
He's amazing. Well, the Golden State Warriors spent Tuesday at the White House. President Biden invited the team to celebrate after their NBA championship win against the Celtics last June. Warriors head coach Steve Kerr and four-time NBA champ Steph Curry also attended the daily press briefing.
It's a great reminder of how lucky we are to be Americans, to live in a country where we can chase our dreams and enjoy the fruits of our labor and the celebration of all those around us.
Curry also thanked Biden for bringing WNBA star Brittany Griner home.
All right, let's go to Nick now for a look at the weather. Once again,
mild.
Yeah, mild. It's like we've been saying that a lot, Nick. Oh, it's 40. Yeah. It's warmer than it should be. Wow, we're so lucky.
Well, let's see how much longer we can say that. Maybe a little pattern change coming the end of next week, but until then, Natasha and Steve, it is going to stay mild. In fact, look at the current temperatures at this hour at 46 in the city, 45 you get to Newark, 42 down at the shore, and you have low 40s coming up from the Hamptons. Again, Providence and Hartford also in the lower 40s, and high 30s. You get into eastern Connecticut, Poughkeepsie also in the middle 30s as well. All right, wind flow, that's been out of the southwest, 5-10 miles per hour, and that's going to continue tonight, but it'll come more westerly. It's going to get a little breezy tomorrow. That west wind, though, will help temperatures warm up again, as you're going to see temperatures off to our west are in the 50s today, so that's where we're going to be tomorrow. All right, we're not done with the showers yet. You can see showers in central New York State, central Pennsylvania. So we'll keep a shower in the forecast for just a little bit longer. Again, the clouds are going to stick around for a chunk of the night, and we'll get into a combination of sun and clouds for tomorrow. But look further west, and you can already see snow coming across Colorado and some rain spreading into Oklahoma. That's the next storm system. That one's going to be a little more potent. By the time it gets here, it'll be Thursday, and we'll have a significant rainfall. Looks like maybe some heavier downpours too as we go through the Thursday late morning, afternoon into the evening. Sun and clouds, like I mentioned, tomorrow we head into the lower 50s. Clouds thicken up late tomorrow night, and already, again, look at the timestamp here, 9:10 in the morning on Thursday. The rain is in. Some of those, again, yellows and oranges, heavier downpours. And that's about the noon time frame. The rain does continue into Thursday evening. We should dry out for a chunk of Friday and most of the weekend, too. All right, go down to 40 in the city tonight, 30s in the suburbs. Again, with a fair amount of clouds and just that risk of an early shower. 53 tomorrow, low 50s for that matter along the coast, high 40s inland. Steve and Natasha.
All right, Nick, thank you. A school crossing guard out of the hospital tonight after a frightening on-the-job accident. His amazing story of survival and the support he's seeing from his community.
Plus, we'll tell you why a city councilman says he's being targeted by anti-LGBTQ protesters.
The Volkswagen Taos. German engineering everyone can get into. Visit your local Volkswagen dealer for 3.9% APR financing for 36 months on most new 2023 SUVs.
Have heart failure and still experience unresolved symptoms? Heart failure and seemingly unrelated symptoms like carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, irregular heartbeat, and lower back pain could mean something more serious called ATTR-CM, a rare underdiagnosed disease that worsens over time. So it's important to recognize the signs. Sound like you? Call your cardiologist and ask about ATTR-CM.
With New Jersey's Clean Energy program, there's so much to save. Free assistance for a more energy-efficient home. Win-win. Small business, big savings on new kitchen equipment. Delicious. Long-lasting and so efficient. Love it. Hi, I'm Chloe, your guide to energy. Keep at it, New Jersey. Gotta go. Learn more at njcleanenergy.com or call 1-866-NJ-SMART.
Optimum's fast 5-gig fiber internet helps Simone Suarez go farther, faster. With 99.9% reliability and speeds more than twice as fast as Verizon and Frontier, she can become a sports sensation. And with whole home Wi-Fi coverage, Simone can show off her soccer skills from any room in the house. Get Optimum Fiber for as low as $30 a month and go farther with everything you do.
Good news, New Jersey. If you need health insurance, now is the time to get quality, affordable health coverage through Get Covered New Jersey. Established by Governor Murphy, Get Covered New Jersey is offering increased plan choices and more savings than ever. 9 out of 10 people enrolling qualify for financial help to lower their costs, and many pay $10 a month or less. Health plans include free preventive care, coverage for prescriptions, emergency services, and more. Open enrollment is here. Find your plan at getcovered.nj.gov.
Life gets bigger when you break from the herd. The Volkswagen Tiguan. Visit your tri-state Volkswagen dealer today to learn more about our vehicle lineup.
The claws come out when these TV stars try to name that tune.
Don't hate me because I'm winning. Celebrity Name That Tune, Wednesday at 8 on Fox 5.
A beloved school crossing guard was released from the hospital today after being hit by a car while he was on the job.
And believe it or not, it's not the first time something like this has happened to him. He was previously hit by a 40-ton Mack truck. Jessica Formoso brings us his remarkable story.
I'm happy I'm alive. Happy I'm alive.
Carlos Vasquez, known to many as Charlie, couldn't hold back tears. The 58-year-old Glen Cove school crossing guard was released from the hospital on Tuesday morning after suffering a traumatic brain injury on the job back in October. The accident happened in front of Daisy Elementary School. Charlie was in the crosswalk stopping traffic when he was hit by a car.
The car came, and the next thing I knew, he was on the ground.
Greg Smith, a volunteer Locust Valley firefighter, called 911. Charlie was airlifted to North Shore University Hospital. Doctors say he lost oxygen to the brain, suffered 2 cardiac arrests, and had to be intubated. They didn't know if he would make it.
I can honestly say that, Charlie, you are a miracle.
Yeah, thank you.
After 3 weeks, he was transferred to Glen Cove's hospital's acute rehab brain injury unit.
His first day, he could barely tell me his name. He couldn't stay awake for our conversation.
101 days later, this living miracle was wheeled out of the hospital. Charlie says he never gave up, and all thanks to his support system. He had an entire community rallying behind him, including his students.
I'm so amazed at the kids. I'm like overwhelmed.
Who this morning waited outside the hospital with signs cheering on their beloved crossing guard.
He's like family.
His wife Liz calls him a man of steel. That's because this is not the first time he suffered a traumatic accident. In 1985, he was hit by a 40-ton truck. That accident resulted in him needing a prosthetic leg.
If that 40-ton truck couldn't put him down, this wasn't going to put him down.
Charlie has a long recovery ahead. He will continue his rehab at home, but is eager to come back to work. So yes, when he's able, he'll be back at this corner doing what he loves, walking the kids. In Glen Cove, I'm Jessica Formoso, Fox 5 News.
Remarkable. Well, it's that time of year again. Restaurant Week is back. It's really more like Restaurant Month at this point. It starts today. It runs through February 12th. As usual, you can get lunch and dinner at fixed prices with meals ranging from $30 to $60. Some 500 restaurants throughout the 5 boroughs are taking part, including this one, Boqueria on the Upper East Side. And wherever you do decide to check out, reservations are encouraged.
And today marks the start of Broadway Week, where you can buy 2-for-1 tickets to most shows. Like Restaurant Week, the deal happens twice a year and runs now through February 12th. Not all shows join in on the deal, so head to the Broadway Week website to find out which shows you can see. I just checked, and a lot are sold out, so act fast.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Do Valentine's Day before February 12th. Save a lot of money on dinner and show. All right. Well, it's a brand new art installation that just flew into the Garment District. This living lantern, as it's called, was unveiled tonight. It sits on Broadway between 39th and 40th Streets. It's about 14 feet tall. The wind helps the lantern come alive as it opens and closes with the breeze. The light from its core illuminating each space. The UK-based artist that helped design the lantern wanted to serve as a symbol of hope, brightness, and guiding light in the heart of Midtown.
A city council member says he's being targeted by anti-LGBTQ protesters because of his support for a city program. The latest fallout coming from the city's Drag Story Hour initiative.
Plus, abortion pills coming to local public health clinics, why the mayor says this new push will expand access for low-income families.
It's your journey. Own every mile in an available H-Track all-wheel drive Hyundai SUV. Lease an all-wheel drive 2023 Tucson for $239 a month or get 2.9% APR for 60 months. Hurry in.
Waiting for the right time to buy a vinyl floor? Well, right now at National Floors Direct, you can get an entire room of luxury vinyl flooring installed the next day for just $788. Just $788. Today, vinyl flooring is luxurious. It looks and feels like real wood, tile, or stone, but it's durable, waterproof, and soft underfoot. Call 888-400-FLOOR and get a luxury vinyl floor from world-famous Armstrong with no interest for a full year. Call 888-400-FLOOR and we'll bring the store to your door.
Spectrum Internet delivers with faster speeds nationwide. So there's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum. Now get Spectrum Internet and you could get advanced Wi-Fi and a Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line free for 12 months. Visit spectrum.com/reveal today to see your best offer. It's easy. Put in your address to reveal a special limited time offer designed just for you. Spectrum Internet offers speed and reliability, while advanced Wi-Fi gives you best-in-class security and privacy for all your connected devices. And Spectrum Mobile delivers unlimited talk, text, and data with nationwide 5G included. Switch now to get a special offer on Spectrum Internet with advanced Wi-Fi and one line of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited free for 12 months. To get this special limited time offer, call today or visit spectrum.com/reveal.
What we do is disrupting traditional real estate, but disrupting it in a positive way. Our home sellers are walking away with thousands more than if they sold the traditional way. And the process was easier, more convenient, and less intrusive. That has resulted in thousands of additional dollars in our home sellers' pockets. The goal is to change the way America sells homes for the better. That's what 72 Sold is all about.
It's your journey. Own every mile in the Hyundai Elantra. Lease a 2023 Hyundai Elantra for $239 a month or get 2.9% APR for 48 months. Hurry in.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news.
The fallout over the city's Drag Story Hour program continues. City Council member Shaker Krishnan says the space outside his home was vandalized yesterday, all because he supports it.
That's on top of previous incidents of vandalism at his home and at his district office, too. Arthur Sheehan spoke to the councilman about all the hate.
Protests over Drag Story Hour at public libraries have been tense, and on Monday they went beyond a library, popping up at the home of City Council member Shaker Krishnan.
It was so disturbing to hear.
What Krishnan found disturbing was a barrage of homophobic hate speech and racial slurs directed at him and at his neighbors. Slurs calling him a groomer and pedophile shouted out while his 2 children were home.
The only horrific thing that our children are hearing are the offensive and incredibly disgusting slurs coming out of these individuals' mouths when they show up at these events.
Events like this recent protest in Jackson Heights, attended by the white supremacist group Proud Boys, flashing what they believe to be their signature hand signal, in this case followed by a Nazi salute. And he wasn't done there, though we won't be showing anymore. Krishnan says he's reported what happened outside his home to police and worries for the safety not just of his family, but anyone who considers libraries safe spaces. And he says the ugliness only strengthens his support for Drag Story Hour, which he says is a literacy program instilling the principles of inclusivity and love.
Each time we see this kind of hate on display, our commitment as a city council to supporting Drag Story Hour grows only deeper.
Support which will be tested again with the next Drag Story Hour in Jackson Heights, Queens, scheduled for February 24th. Arthur Chien, Fox 5 News.
Well, after our report on the new truck depot preparing to open in Harlem and pushback from the community, the developer with the project reached out to tell Fox 5 his side of the story. Developer Bruce Teitelbaum says he proposed 2 towers, which included affordable housing at the soon-to-be truck depot on West 145th Street and Lenox Ave. Not enough votes could pass the project, and Harlem City Council member Kristen Richardson Jordan opposed it, saying it would push people of color out of the neighborhood. Teitelbaum says he would reconsider building the apartments, but claims the councilwoman won't budge.
She rejected it. She wanted 100% affordable at rents that are simply not financeable. She doesn't speak to us. She refuses to talk to us. She will not negotiate with us.
Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine says the neighborhood deserves better than a truck depot and wants the 2 groups to work out a deal. We reached out to Councilmember Richardson Jordan, but have not heard back. Public health clinics in New York City will start offering abortion pills tomorrow. It's an effort to make sure low-income communities have access to the medication. Morgan Mackay has more on the sweeping new initiative for women's health.
New York City will be offering free abortion pills at 4 sexual health clinics as soon as Wednesday. After Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court last year, Mayor Eric Adams says he has been working to make sure reproductive health care is easily accessible to all New Yorkers.
No other city in the nation or in the world has a public health department that is providing medication abortion. We are the first.
Abortion pills are different than the morning after pill. Abortion pills can be used to end an early pregnancy within the first 11 weeks and are used in more than half of all U.S. abortions. They are also commonly used in New York City at all 11 public hospitals. However, hospitals will typically look to bill insurance companies, while city-run health clinics do not.
Are truly public clinics that are walk-up, all access, regardless of, we never take a single question about your insurance or your status. And that has played and has historically played a really important role in the city in providing care and sexual health services to people who often are pushed through the cracks.
According to health officials, these 4 clinics could potentially deliver up to 10,000 abortion pills a year. A sexual health clinic in the Bronx will be the first to roll out these abortion pills, followed by clinics in Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan. The city health commissioner says a rollout could take a full year due to federally mandated training.
We are a safe haven. We have set that out, but there are still these barriers to care, especially for the most marginalized.
Now, this announcement was part of a larger initiative the mayor is launching when it comes to women's health. The city will be tracking rates of cancer when it comes to women, as well as life expectancy. The mayor also wants to end the stigma when it comes to menopause. Reporting from the newsroom, I'm Morgan Mackay, Fox 5 News.
Well, this is something you don't expect to see on the Jersey Shore. An alligator, Monmouth County says that a man called it in after finding the gator in a plastic container next to his house in Neptune on Sunday. And tonight, they're happy to report the 3-foot-long gator was rescued and is safe at the Cape May Zoo. They're also looking for the person who abandoned the gator because it's illegal to keep them in New Jersey.
Yeah, they start small, they get that big, and you don't know what to do with them. Bad idea. All right, well, from glue to tape and other sticky substances, thieves are getting creative when it comes to stealing your mail. How to protect yourself as officials warn about a spike of these kind of schemes.
Plus, why you'll want to add Manhattan to the list the next time you plan a beach getaway.
The news on Fox 5, brought to you locally by Toyota.
Dear all-wheel drive, let's show the road what we've got. Yours, Toyota.
Lease a new 2023 Camry all-wheel drive for just $329 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
With Pick 3 from the New Jersey Lottery, celebrations are getting bigger because more winning tickets earn bigger prizes.
Morning, everybody.
Hi, Grandma. Can we play Pick 3 again today?
We should probably return that first.
Play Pick 3. Now any $1 winning straight wager is guaranteed to win $500, even 777s.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people, all people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health, you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Keep your vehicle protected this winter with WeatherTech. Laser-measured floor liners protect the carpet. Seat protectors to keep seats safe from spills and messes. And Cup Phone keeps your phone secure while allowing easy access while charging. WeatherTech's got your vehicle covered all season long. Order your American-made products at WeatherTech.com.
Good news, New Jersey. If you need health insurance, now is the time to get quality, affordable health coverage through Get Covered New Jersey. Established by Governor Murphy, Get Covered New Jersey is offering increased plan choices and more savings than ever. 9 out of 10 people enrolling qualify for financial help to lower their costs, and many pay $10 a month or less. Health plans include free preventive care, coverage for prescriptions, emergency services, and more. Open enrollment is here. Find your plan at getcovered.nj.gov.
Dear Winter, our squad of vehicles with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive is ready. Bundle up, Toyota. Lease a new 2023 RAV4 all-wheel drive for just $319 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
There's been a recent rise in mail theft hitting mailboxes across the city, especially checks and credit cards.
Yeah, the one thing linking these thefts, a sticky substance inside the mailbox. Arthur Chan explains how thieves are fishing mail right out of it.
To us, mailboxes are blue, but some thieves see the color green when they look at them, and to get at it, they are mailbox fishing. This old form of crime is seeing a new spike. In this case, this man allegedly was caught in the act trying to fish out letters from a mailbox. Jonathan Tsay, the owner of a consignment store on Madison Avenue, is one of the latest victims.
It's just caused me so much headaches. It's just unbelievable.
Tsay showed us a check he recently put in the mail that never arrived on the other end. He says a thief intercepted the letter, then added a name to the check and deposited it in a different account. In some cases, the criminal adds digits to the check to increase the amount that's stolen. Thinking back, Tsay recalls a sticky substance on the mailbox, trapping letters from going down.
It actually stuck on the top. But I happened to look down. I put my head down. I said, oh, my God, my checks are still there. Then I have to use my fingers or my keys or something to physically, push it down.
They were able to use archaic tools to fish mail out of the boxes. Sometimes glue traps. We've seen tape.
Glenn McKechnie at the U.S. Postal Service is part of a team of 100 inspectors cracking down on things like mailbox phishing. While he points out the mail system is very safe, he and his team wants the public to let them know when they see something sticky.
We need the customer to notify us or notify the post office of that residue, because that might be a situation where somebody attempted to phish the box and was unsuccessful, and now there's residue on the box. So we want to clean that up.
This is the exact same mailbox that say used to mail that letter with the check in it. And out of curiosity, we came out here to check it out. There's still a sticky residue in here. I have to really pull with some force on this paper in order to get it to release. As for the advice for the rest of us, the U.S. Postal Service says check the last pickup time. If you have your letter in here before the last pickup, then it's not sitting out here overnight. Otherwise, they say bring it to a post office. On the Upper East Side, Arthur Chien, Fox 5 News.
Wow, good advice there. Well, the husband of a missing Boston woman is expected in court tomorrow to face new charges that he murdered his wife. 39-year-old Anna Walsh has not been seen since January 4th. Her husband, Brian, was arrested after detectives found a bloody knife in his basement. Prosecutors claim he also bought hundreds of dollars worth of cleaning supplies and did an internet search about disposing a body. At the time, he pleaded not guilty to misleading investigators. Tomorrow, prosecutors say he will be arraigned on murder charges.
Reality TV stars Todd and Julie Chrisley are behind bars tonight. The Chrisley Knows Best stars each reported to a separate prison today. Last year, they were convicted for defrauding community banks out of more than $30 million in fraudulent loans. Todd serving 12 years at a minimum security prison in Pensacola, Florida, while Julie will do 7 years at an institution in Lexington, Kentucky.
Climate activist Greta Thunberg was detained by German police while protesting the expansion of a coal mine. Police say she was released a short time after the group was protesting the impending demolition of a village. The government agreed last year to let the mine owners destroy the abandoned village in exchange for saving 5 other villages. As part of the deal, they also agreed to end their coal use by 2030, but activists argue the plan would result in vast greenhouse gas emissions.
Well, it might be relatively cold outside, but that's not stopping us from looking ahead to summer.
The project that's bringing the beach to lower Manhattan. But first, Nick has a look at the forecast. Hey, Nick.
Hello there, and we're not necessarily looking at summer weather here, but boy, it has been pretty mild for sure. Mild day coming up tomorrow. Watch those clouds well off to the west, though. That's our next storm. I'll tell you about it when the 10 o'clock news returns.
Special Forces is the hit of the season, and we put these celebrities to the test.
I have a child. Don't let me down. I just don't trust myself physically.
Break! Special Forces World's Toughest Test, Wednesday at 9 on Fox 5.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
It's Buick Envision. That's a really tight spot. I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
The Buick Envision, built around you, all of you.
Get 3.9% APR and no monthly payments for 90 days on Buick SUV models.
Have you been to a Burlington lately? They have unbelievable deals. At up to 60% off other retailers' prices every day.
For what I expected to pay for one outfit, I got 3.
Now more than ever. You'll love the deals. You'll love Burlington.
Big news, New York. Expanded financial help is available now to lower health insurance costs for New Yorkers. To get free help finding a low-cost plan today, visit nystateofhealth.ny.gov or call us by phone.
Optimum Business gives you reliable, fast, secure internet with speeds up to 1 gig and built-in cybersecurity with data privacy protection to keep your business safe. Choose your internet, phone, and mobile service with flexible plans for just $65 a month. Plus, with Optimum Business, you get transparent pricing with no hidden fees and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Get Optimum Business for the support your business needs and go farther with everything you do. Call or visit Optimum Business today.
Sports is more than just a game.
Fans know there's more to sports than just highlights and stats.
It's going beyond the numbers to find a compelling story.
I wanted to challenge myself, getting the access to your sports heroes.
Hopefully they have a smile on their face and learn something today.
And being connected to the pulse of the New York sports scene.
How did I get here? I was so amazed at myself in the situation.
At Fox 5, we get sports.
Coming this summer, New Yorkers looking to hit the sand will have a new option.
Yeah, Manhattan is slated to get its first public beach. Construction is already underway. Linda Schmidt shows us what to expect.
Well, instead of battling all that traffic to get to the Jersey Shore or to the Hamptons, this summer you're actually going to be able to play in the sand on a beach right here in the city.
That sounds delightful. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, yeah.
Run your feet through that sand.
I would think so, yeah.
It sounds like the beach, and by summer, this section of Hudson River Park will look like a beach.
I call it a beachy area. Some people will bring a beach blanket. Some people will just enjoy the feel of walking around it. I think kids will enjoy making a sandcastle in it.
Noreen Doyle is the CEO of the Hudson River Park Trust, which is turning this area of the waterfront into a sandy beach and so much more.
It includes a salt marsh on the northern edge where we try to improve habitat and juvenile oysters. And it includes a huge ball field, a dog run, adult fitness area, lounge chairs.
It is a city and state public project on 5.5 acres. Now, although there will be a beach, swimming will not be allowed because, after all, it is the Hudson River. But you will be able to access kayaks and small boats.
I think that's a great idea. I think it's something this neighborhood needs.
Beaches are great. I love areas where people can get together and spend time.
I just moved from Oregon. I live near Portland, and the beach, like Seaside, is amazing. So I'd love to have that opportunity. I'm from California, so the beaches in California are nice. So if I
this is not going to compare to California.
Well, if I ever visit here, then I'll definitely stop by the New York beach.
The new beach and park are slated to open sometime in the late summer. On the waterfront in the Meatpacking District, Linda Schmidt, Fox 5 News.
The beach sounds nice in this weather.
We'll leave the swimming to the ducks, as Linda said, but we'll take what we can get here in the city. All right, Nick. Seems a long way off, although we have gotten off really easy so far this winter.
You know, if you think about it, right, we're in, past the middle part of January, so we're in the harshest part of what really happens in wintertime in New York City, and we've been skating through it.
Yeah, that's a win, no doubt about it.
Oh, for sure. And, it's going to stay that way, at least in the 7 days. There's indications maybe by the end of next week that patterns are going to start changing a little bit. I mean, you knew it had to happen at some point. Let's see if that's the case. We'll be watching that, of course, and update you as we get closer to that. But in the meantime, we're still talking mild weather. Today, 47, 35. Average high should be 39, average low 27. And we will stay above average, and again, in this whole 7-day forecast. 73, -2 in the records department. Right now in New York, we do have a cloudy sky still, and we're still in the mid-40s at 46 with a southwest wind. Humidity up a bit, pressure steady. It's been that way all night, 2967. And dew points up a little bit, and we still have a couple of isolated showers that might come through in the next few hours, but not all that much. So mid-40s in town, mid-40s to Newark, low 40s across the island down to the Jersey Shore tonight, and low 40s to White Plains. Then it's 30s as you get further out of town, Bridgeport, Poughkeepsie over to Scranton, mid and upper 30s there. But we still have the south wind becoming more southwesterly. Eventually, this becomes westerly tomorrow. It is going to be a little gusty, but that west wind, as you'll see, is going to bring temperatures into the 50s when I show you the highs that happen all the way off to the west. In the meantime, again, look at these highs. Mid and upper 40s today. Newark at 48. It stayed 10 degrees cooler, though, at Poughkeepsie, but Hartford also back up there to 48. Even hit 50 in Boston today. 47 in Buffalo, 40s Philadelphia, but go west. And look at this, mid-50s, low 50s, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Columbus at 59 today. And like I said, that wind coming up out of the west tomorrow will push our temperatures into the lower 50s around here. All right, what about those showers I spoke of? You can see them here scattered in eastern Pennsylvania. If they hold together, some of them are falling apart as they get close to us, but the air is so dry still around us. But there could be a couple of isolated showers still. Early part of our nighttime forecast. A lot of clouds will stick around. Let me get a break. This will be tomorrow's weather. Not much happening. Combination of sun and clouds. And that last storm that hit California yesterday, well, it's coming out of the Rockies now, moving into the Plain States. That's going to be our weather maker. It will arrive here for Thursday. Pretty significant rainfall coming up on Thursday. You'll see that in the Futurecast again tomorrow. Sun and clouds with a gusty west breeze. Pretty decent day overall. Clouds will thicken up tomorrow night. Watch the timestamp, though. We get here to Thursday morning, about 7 a.m. Rain starts overspreading the area from west to east. Notice there are yellows and oranges here, so some heavier downpours as well. Up to the north, that's going to be snow. Upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Good news for the ski areas because they can certainly use that. And this system will pull out of here. Most of Friday into the weekend should be dry. All right, so for tonight, we'll go down to about 40 in the city with, again, an early shower threat and just lots of clouds. 30s in the suburbs. Tomorrow, again, a gusty west breeze, but a combination of sun and clouds. It will stop at 53, way above average for this time of the year. Rain for Thursday at 44, and that shower threat, just a couple of showers maybe around on Friday. A gusty breeze at 49. Saturday, okay, at 42. Rain will come in late Sunday, more so towards evening. And it'll rain Sunday night. Now, Monday could be a combination of some rain and snow showers with a strong wind at 46. Tuesday still at 47. Like I said, let's see if that pattern does change by the end of next week, Steve.
Lou, all right, thanks, Nick. Well, Madonna fans celebrating the Material Girl is going on tour. I want to be at that party. This could be her biggest tour ever. It will feature her top hits from the past 4 decades, including Vogue and Like a Virgin. The celebration tour stops at Madison Square Garden August 23rd and 24th. Tickets go on sale this Friday, January 20th.
And producers have announced a star-studded lineup for the Governor's Ball. Lizzo, Kendrick Lamar, and Odessa are headlining the festival. You'll also see performances from Lil Nas X, Haim, and Phineas. It's the first time the festival is taking place in Flushing Meadows Corona Park in Queens. It runs from June 9th to 11th, and tickets go on sale on Thursday at 10 a.m.
Well, business moguls and government leaders descending upon a small town in Switzerland.
What's being discussed at the first World Economic Forum in 3 years?
GMC Terrain. Ready for any terrain. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Or current eligible GMC lessees can get this low mileage lease on this all-wheel drive Terrain SLE for around $259 per month.
It's a star-studded game night.
I loved you and Magic Mike.
Thanks.
Switch places with me.
Next, Big Bang.
Coming up next on Fox 5.
The Volkswagen Taos. German engineering everyone can get into. Visit your local Volkswagen dealer for 3.9% APR financing for 36 months on most new 2023 SUVs.
No one's ever ready for cancer, but at Hackensack Meridian John Theurer Cancer Center, we are. We're smarter than cancer. With the most advanced clinical trials in New Jersey, we innovate faster, pioneering world-leading therapies. And we're stronger, with personalized treatment plans for every patient. We're changing the way cancer is treated, so we're always more than ready.
Take on life in style in the luxurious Infiniti QX60. Experience the Infiniti QX60 at your local Infiniti retailer.
Good news, New Jersey. If you need health insurance, now is the time to get quality, affordable health coverage through Get Covered New Jersey. Established by Governor Murphy, Get Covered New Jersey is offering increased plan choices and more savings than ever. 9 out of 10 people enrolling qualify for financial help to lower their costs, and many pay $10 a month or less. Health plans include free preventive care, coverage for prescriptions, emergency services, and more. Open enrollment is here. Find your plan at getcovered.nj.gov.
Life gets bigger when you break from the herd. The Volkswagen Tiguan. Visit your tri-state Volkswagen dealer today to learn more about our vehicle lineup.
A lot of Americans still fed up with fees. More than 1 in 4 checking account holders are paying routine service charges, including ATM and overdraft fees. According to Bankrate, all the charges add up to an average cost of nearly $290 a year. And a mixed day on Wall Street. The Dow and S&P 500 both closed down, while the Nasdaq finished up. Here's something to think about if you're looking to start a business this year. A report from Wallet Hub says the best place to do it is Utah. The Beehive State's access to resources and overall business environment are the main reasons why. Florida and Texas round out the top 3. And finally, GM is unveiling the first ever electrified Corvette. The 2024 Chevrolet E-Ray Hybrid will be the quickest ever, going from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. And that speed comes with a cost. The price tag expected to top $104,000 when it goes on sale later this year. That's a look at business. I'm Kelly O'Grady.
Wow. All right. Well, the next and biggest round of layoffs at Amazon starts on Wednesday. The company getting rid of 18,000 jobs. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy broke that news to employees earlier this month, citing a need to downsize and save money. The layoffs will affect Amazon's e-commerce business and some brick-and-mortar stores. Impacted employees will start to hear from Human Resources tomorrow.
And global leaders are getting ready for day 3 at the Economic World Forum in Davos, Switzerland. In addition to the economy and the climate crisis, the war in Ukraine has taken center stage. The wife of President Zelensky asking world leaders for more help in the fight against Russia. And former Vice President Al Gore is also at the forum, warning banks need to change if the world is going to meet its climate goals.
We need to scale up climate finance, but we need desperately to scale down anti-climate finance. And we are still subsidizing the burning of fossil fuels globally at a rate 42 times larger than the subsidies for the shift toward renewables and EVs, et cetera.
Officials at the forum are also pushing back against billionaire Elon Musk. He said he declined an invitation to go because it sounded boring, but the forum says he was never on the guest list.
Apple announces a big upgrade to some of its most popular products. The new 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro laptops and its new Mac Mini now come with Apple's most powerful processors to date. The price for the 16-inch MacBook Pro starts at $2,500. The 14-inch comes in just under $2,000. And the Mac Mini starts at $599. Well, Nick is back with one last check on the weather.
But first, a look at what to expect for the morning commute.
It's time for the Toyota Traffic Tracker.
I'm Inez Rosales with the Toyota Traffic Tracker. The Staten Island Expressway westbound from Clove Road to Renwick Avenue. The right lane will be closed tomorrow for repairs from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. Tune in to Good Day New York starting at 4:30 in the morning, and I'll keep you updated on your commute.
This is the 2023 Nissan Pathfinder and Rogue. With a range of drive modes and intelligent off-road technology, you can take a Sunday stroll in the least basic of places. The 2023 Nissan family of SUVs. Anything but basic.
Get 1.9% financing for 36 months on Nissan Rogue, or make no payments until April 2023.
Waiting for the right time to buy a hardwood floor? Well, check this out. One room of beautiful hardwood flooring, completely installed for just $999. That's right. And this isn't just any hardwood. This is genuine Mohawk hardwood, the most trusted name in flooring. Call National Floors Direct at 888-400-FLOOR and get an entire room of Mohawk hardwood installed the next day for just $999. And no interest for 1 year. Transform your home for just $999. We bring the store to your door.
With New Jersey's Clean Energy program, there's so much to save. Free assistance for a more energy-efficient home. Win-win. Small business, big savings on your kitchen equipment. Delicious. Long-lasting and so efficient. Love it. Hi, I'm Chloe, your guide to clean energy. Keep at it, New Jersey. Gotta go. Learn more at njcleanenergy.com or call 1-866-NJ-SMART.
Sports Scores brought to you by your local Ford stores. For current offers, visit buyfordnow.com.
You're not going to let a little weather slow you down. With a Ford SUV, you've got the capability to power through the elements.
From the Edge with intelligent all-wheel drive, to the Explorer with a terrain management system, to the Bronco Sport with GOAT modes. Whatever the forecast brings, you'll have the confidence you need to take the season by storm. Come into your local Ford stores today to see the weather-ready SUVs in stock. For details, visit buyfordnow.com.
All right, let's get a final check of the weather.
Nick is joining us now. Hey, Nick.
Hello there, Natasha and Steve. It's not going to drop below 40 in the city tonight. We'll have a lot of clouds. Still could be an isolated shower in a few spots. Mid to upper 30s to the north and west. Tomorrow, a nice day for January for sure. Sun and clouds, a gusty west breeze at times. Look at that high at 53. Again, way above average for this time of the year. Low 50s at the coast as well tomorrow. All right, rain's here for Thursday, 44. Could be a shower or two around Friday, whereas clouds give way to some sun and a gusty breeze, 49. Saturday looks good. Rain late Sunday, 46. A couple of rain and snow showers, very windy Monday, and we stay in the 40s for Tuesday.
Very well. All right, thanks, Nick. That does it for us. Good Day New York. See you have the latest headlines starting at 4:30 tomorrow morning.
Stay tuned. The Big Bang Theory starts right now.